And I'm going to be painting over here, and I will leave this up like that. How about that? Everybody can see everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
And so let's analyze this. How the hell am I going to paint this? It's a fairly simple scene from the standpoint of the setting. The sky might seem to be complicated, but if I look at the sky like this, and if I look at the sky like this, it seems less complicated. Oh, I got to leave some paper here, or at least use a light color. And now I can start framing that. How do I do that? Wet and wet or gouache? No, I don't think so. How many ways do we figure out how to do that? Could I blot these out? Yes. And then I'm going to go to a slightly darker tone and probably a different color, and then my dark. So that sets it up from top to bottom. And these shapes are pretty explicit in this, so I'm not going to stay to that. I'm not going to need those other guys. So if you wanted to paint this and you just got back from vacation or whatever, how would you start? Well, how I would start is I would start with my light to dark, and I would start warm to cool. I would start with these yellow, orange, orchidy, purpley to blue kind of washes. And I wouldn't try to define any of these clouds. I probably would start with a little wispy stuff in here, but I'm going to start with this big wash over basically kind of everything. And I'm going to wet the paper first. And then I'm going to have some of my, I'm going to open up my palette and I'm going to energize my paint and have some of that ready to go. So I'm really going to go from warm to cool. I'm going to do the opposite gradation. Well, actually not opposite, but I'm going to go from top down, cool to warm. And in between, I can add all these other accent colors. So anyway, let's give it a try. I'm going to leave this up. Everybody can see it. You can use this as your reference. It's not a big deal. I am going to use Mr. Gravity, but I'm also going to be able to pick this up and move it around. So I'm going to, I want you to see the whole thing. So I'm going to back off just slightly. I think you can see everything if I stay here. By the way, if I get out of frame, I'm looking at what I'm doing. So if I get out of frame, please let me know. And
it looks great, Joe.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, what? Somebody say something? Hello?
He said it looks great. It does.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, when I get painting and I lift it up and I start doing stuff, I have a tendency to move it sometimes. So I'm opening up my main palette, my bigger palette. And there's nothing special here. It's not a particular one color or a special color about that. So have your paint energized. I'm going around my well and I'm squirting, I'm spraying all my paint. So it's not fresh paint, but it's not hard paint, like Stan just talked to us about. And the big thing about this is get in and get out. The reason I'm doing this now and is because I want this to dry enough so I can use some pastel on it. I'm going to use a spray bottle to wet my paper this time. A la Anita Engel. And I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to use Cobalt by Cracky. So here's there. That's not going to be nearly dark enough. So I'm going to take another swipe. There's some Cobalt. And then I'm going to kind of start turning. I'm going to add a little purple to that. That's kind of pretty. And maybe a little more purple. And you'll notice I'm doing this in big swipes. I want to, yeah. It's just going to be the background color. And I've got a color that I like to use. It's called lilac. And it's a good transition color. It's that kind of color. That kind of color. And I'm letting this bleed down. And while that's still damp enough at the top, I'm going to take one more swipe with blue because I still want it darker. And let it drift. And I'm getting more into this lilac from this side. And I'm going to start adding a little orange. And I'm going to start adding a little gamboge. And now I'm just going to go to my yellow. Oops. I'm going to let all that drift. I'm going to put some that lilac through there. And I'm going to use some of that orange because that's going to combine with it right through here and here. This is where I want my center of light, center of attention. Well, I like all the stuff that's drifting together. I can pick this up and I can make it go back and forth that I'm doing right now. I can spray it a little bit to keep the paint moving. When I say get in and get out, I see places that, oh, I didn't go completely over to the edge of the paper, and I see something else that's happening with this that I may or may not like, and blah, blah, blah. But I can fix all that later. I need to have this set up a little bit. I'm just trying to not copy. I'm trying to capture the essence of what that scene is. That would be a better way to look at it. And I think while I'm here, I'm going to use my paper towel and I'm going to wipe out this part right here. Because that's where my lights, that's where I want that light to be. I'm going to just go ahead and fill that in. So there's my light right there. Now it's coming to the dangerous part of the time because this paper is drying. So what's going to happen if I put some more paint on here right now? it's going to blossom. I'm going to dry this off. Okay, I dried this off, and now I don't have to touch this with a brush anymore to re-wet it. I'm going to use my mister, not my spray bottle, but my mister, and I'm just going to mist this to re-wet it. And so that's going to give me that edge that I'm looking for. And I am looking at my painting and I see I have a little sky hole up here, but again, I want to get in and I want to get out. I have something going on down here, and these little clouds, and I'm using the side of my brush too. See how I'm using the side of my brush to get that wispier kind of sort of feeling.
What color are you using there?
I'm using a purple with some imperial purple with some alizarin and some Payne's gray.
Thank you.
These are just big sweepy strokes. I'm just doing a little housekeeping here, lifting and going back to that that edge, that wispy edge.
You move your paint over a little bit?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Yeah, thank you for reminding me. As I say, I get carried away and then you know how that goes. I'm just making very simple strokes. I'm not making these complicated little petting strokes. Uh, so that would be, so it kind of sort of looks like it, but kind of sort of.
I like yours better.
I'm sorry?
I like yours better.
Oh, good. I do too. That's why you're an artist. You should like yours better than the photo. You can spend all day, and this is the important part right here. Now you can spend the rest of the day picking at little things and putting in little sky holes and using a little pastel, doing whatever you have to do. I'm still using this big brush. I did not paint anything on this painting without this big brush, so that's what I'm using. Did you see what I just did? I dried this off a little bit and then I just put some paint there and I took my paper towel and I just wiped it off. And so it gives me that nice little soft texture, but it gives me a brighter spot than I would have ordinarily. And I'll try to do it down here. So I put on some paint and then that's not enough paint. I put on some fairly thick paint and then I just wiped it off. I have to be able to see this now, so that's the reason I'm taking the tape off. When I paint, I retape several times, not maybe a couple times, because I have to see it. I can't see it with the mess around it, so this is going to tell me what to do next. Hey, I love it when I take the tape off. The reveal. But usually it's not, it doesn't suck as bad as I thought.
It's very pretty.
Very nice.
Anyway, those are big strokes made with a big brush. And I did not make little petty strokes. I went shh, 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 shh. So that's the key to this. Get in and get out. And I know there are things that I'm going to change. There's something that I'm going to do with this, but I have to have it dry first. I got a bloom up here, which I actually like because it picks this up a little bit, and it's going into this cloud shape here. I think they're interesting shapes is what I'm after. And I can always make it a little darker, a little lighter, a little this, a little that, but I can't replicate this. I can't paint that with a little brush because it's painting itself. And once this is dry down here, I'm going to put a piece of tape across here, and I'm going to make that a tree line over there. And so this could be a reflection on water, could be anything, who cares? I'm going to keep it simple. I just need some dark down here through here to make it light up.
What color paint did you use to make that pinkish color? Oh, it's not.
By the way, I just heard somebody say something about a color.
Yeah, yes. What color did you use to make, or colors to make the pinkish?
That's right out of the tube. That's Holbein, and it's called lilac.
Lilac. Okay, thank you.
It's either lilac or orchid. Hang on. It's Holbein, it's lilac.
Okay.
I use two colors for bridge colors between the blue and the orange, say, and I like these purples. I use lilac, which is red on the pink side. I use lavender, which is on the blue side. And I use imperial purple for purple. So I'm just going to take this across here best that I can without, hope it's not going to rip the paper up. I'm going to use a smaller brush that's flat. I think I'm just going to use some purple, the Imperial purple that I already had, because I'm just looking for a little shoreline. Anyway, some of this is going to stay. I'm just going to take this brush and I'm just going to bring it up from the bottom and flip it. See how that makes trees working both ways. Oh, I love this because these trees are getting blown out by the light. I'm have a good enough touch. There it looks like somebody's occupied that space. I think I'm done.
Very nice.
Bravo.
Well, you know, if I'm sitting on a dock over there, then maybe I could hang this out. So and we haven't been painting very long.
Joe? Joe?
Yes,
Is the
yes.
Imperial purple, is that also Holbein?
The Imperial purple, I think, is Daniel Smith. Let me check. It's Daniel Smith.
It's what?
I cannot handle dioxine purple. You can't do it.
Did you say Daniel Smith?
Yes, it's
Okay.
Daniel Smith. Imperial purple. That's the best one I found. That's dioxine purple is like, some people can't handle phthalos, and I love phthalo blues, but I can't handle dioxine purple. I overuse it, or I don't know, something happens. Anyway, I'm going to let this dry for 5 minutes, and then I'm going to show you pastel.
Oh, good.
This is perfect for pastel. Yvonne knows this because I demoed that several times, didn't I? That's the reason I want to give you the confidence when you start one of these to not panic and try to start fixing a bunch of stuff, because you can always fix it using various techniques. I could go back into here and I could lift a bunch of stuff yet. But I'm going to use my pastels.
Joe, are you going to send us that photograph so we can try it?
Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't able to hear you.
I said, are you going to send us the photo so
Of
that
this?
we can try it?
No, I'll send you, you already have this photo. I just blew it up. You have it
I
on the
do?
hand. Yeah, you already have it on that handout.
No, we have your painting on the handout.
Huh?
We have your painting of it. Oh, I see it. I see it. Never mind.
I'll send you these three because I broke it down into grayscale and then the Noton. I'll just send you those guys.
Okay.
Okay, this is my arsenal right here. The square ones are hard pastels. The round ones are all soft pastels. So I'm looking at the monitor and I'm saying, okay, do I need a little more yellow here? Maybe I do. Maybe I need a little more yellow. Can you see that going in? Can you see that little spot of yellow? I'm going to go closer. Can you see this little spot of yellow right here? I just put that on there. And now, now I'm just going to rub it in. Now I'm just going to rub it in because I want a little more yellow there, and I can't do that with my paint because I can't get it that soft.
We can see it.
Looking at
We can see it.
what?
We can see it when you put the yellow on.
Good. So now I've got this orange, and I'm saying I want to break this up a little bit, so I'm going to go like that. See that?
Yes.
Okay, so now I'm just going to rub it in with my finger, and that added something to it. That's a perfect orange color. So I see
Yes, it did.
orange happening very slightly up in here. I just want to put a little bit of that up here. I'm being very careful with it because I want to connect. I want to connect this to that. And so there's a little orange up in there. Maybe a little bit right in through here. This works really well. And say I wanted a little bit darker color here for my purple. Look at that. That purple is great. And I dare you to tell me that that's not part of the painting.
No, we can see it.
Yeah, so I'm having fun. I'm having just as much fun doing this with the pastel as I had painting it because I'm still painting.
When do you use hard versus soft pastel?
Hard is when I want to make for instance, if I had, let me see if I can, I have this blue, which really isn't the right blue. I'm not going to use it. I have this blue. This is soft. It's when you want more detail.
Okay.
When you want a harder edge.
Ah, all right.
When you want something that's crisp. Let's put it that way. It's crisp. So I have a yellow here, and I think maybe I'll just put a couple of little guys up here, just as little to extend that up, sky holes maybe. And if I don't like this, I can keep rubbing it. I can take it off with my kneaded eraser. I can erase part of it or soften it. Or if I don't like it at all, I can spray it with my mister.
Oh,
Make the pastel go away. The water will, because it's pigment. It will just make it go away. It's magic.
Do you have to use a fixative at the end if you use chalk?
No, no, no. I don't. Let's put it that way. I can put a color over a color. I wanted that to be a little yellow or orange. So I put some yellow down, and then I put some orange on top of it, and then I rubbed it in. So that's just a little touch, a little different color. Boy, that orange is just great. It matched. Usually it doesn't do that. Usually it doesn't match that well, but it seems to be. I just changed that whole section. Wow. So here's a piece of hard, and I want that to be a little bit more. Anyway, I could putz around with this for a long time now, and I'm going to stop. Otherwise, I'll be doing it for too long. Okay, I'm done.
yay.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Yep.
Anyway, so that should give you the confidence that you can at the start to say, I know I can fix all this crap later, so just go for it. That makes sense to me. I'm just going to go for it because I can go fix it later. I don't care if I use pastel. As I said before, I will do anything to make a good painting. Or use anything, you know, materials. I don't care if it's a transparent watercolor, opaque watercolor, pastel colored pencil, acrylic ink, I don't care. I've taken some of my paintings that have not worked out and made collages out of them. I just take the parts I like, tear them up and make a collage. By the way, I haven't done the handout yet, but the next workshop in 2 weeks, just so you know before you get a reminder, is going to be on trees and rocks, but mostly trees. And that's going to be on the 5th. Why not? September 5th. That's nothing to me. Anyway, we can see how these trees are done down here. I love indicating these trees. They look like trees to me, and it doesn't take much at all. It's the same stroke. It's the same lacy stroke that we did for the edge of the clouds in that one. So anyway.
Joe, I have a question that goes back to the very beginning with the wet on wet. And it makes me think about it with Stan Miller's video.
Yes.
You know how wet it is. Then you said you waited a couple of minutes though to just try and, so it's not.
Yeah, I wanted it to settle.
Then how much, regarding the brush and the paint, how are you doing about what he says, that 5 level with the brush of water? And then how much, like, are you using that kind of gooey paint or thinner?
Well, you have to energize your paints. I didn't squeeze out fresh paint for this exercise,
Yes.
but I energized my paints so I could get some pretty pure color. Otherwise, it's too pale. It's going to dry lighter. I always get caught in this. I've been painting a long time, and with this one, it ended up being too light. My initial wash, I wanted more. It looked right when it's wet. It's wrong. Edgar Whitney. It's like the seashell. Oh, it looks so great, and I put it in my pocket and took it home, and now it's all dull. Well, that's the true with watercolor. It's going to dry lighter, and it's not going to dry as luminous.
Mm-hmm.
So the biggest mistake I see with skies or painting wet into wet is once I wet that paper with just clear water and I let it settle for a couple of minutes, it's still shiny, but it's not glossy. I have to make sure that whatever I put on there has more pigment in it than water.
Okay.
I got water in the paper.
All right.
And I see this time after time. They think they're just painting on a piece of paper again. No, it's a wet piece of paper. It makes all the difference in the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a dry piece of paper. It's wet, so it's going to cut your color in half or whatever, some percentage, because it's going to dilute it. So even in here, this is darker in here in the photo, and mine isn't. And I tried to do that. I'm glad it worked out this way, but I had this whole dark clouds through here, and I decided to make them trees because it made more sense for the entire painting. It gave it a foundation. So anyway, it all worked out in the end. But I take it, the page is going to tell me what to do next.